What does he believe we need to do about money in politics? Let's take a quick look at his answer and see what he has to say.
Corporations do not equal people, and that money does not equal speech. Some have said that within the framework of the Constitution, you can't draw those boundaries, and that led to a decision that I think has been disastrous for our politics, which is the Citizens United decision. I don't believe that the Constitution says that, but if it does, if that's going to be the direction that our federal judiciary takes going forward, then I think it's necessary to formulate a constitutional amendment to clear this up once and for all. And I'm under no illusion that it's possible overnight to get that reform. But I think most Americans actually agree that we need to get money out of politics.
What? What?
No.
You said constitutional amendment.
I know. But look. So first of all, overall, great answer. Not just because he said constitutional amendment, but also because he talked about how corporations are not people and money's not speech. So credit where credit is due. Now, and if I then turn to a critique, I don't want you to get it wrong because nobody else is talking about it, right? So he's actually doing better than the rest here, okay? So now I don't want him to take the corporate money. I don't want him to take big donor money. But if he got a constitutional amendment passed, I wouldn't give a damn what he took. Okay, so now my point is though, how are you gonna get the amendment passed? And so that's where Democrats go, I don't know, maybe we'll get 2/3 of Congress. No, you won't. You know you won't. You know that, so it's kind of I'm surprised more of them are not talking about it because it's actually very safe. They can just say, I'm for a constitutional amendment. And yeah, he's like, I think most Americans, no, Americans are overwhelmingly in favor of it, not I think. 93% of Americans say that politicians represent their donors and not their voters. They hate the corruption, right? So it's relatively easy. And by the way, when I started Wolfpack back in 2011, that's a super PAC to take out all the other super PACs and to get money out of politics and to get that amendment. At that point, the consensus was not for an amendment. People were talking about, no, we're gonna win the Supreme Court over and we'll reverse Citizens United 20 years from now. The demographics will shift, et cetera. Now, we won that debate, okay? Not me single-handedly or the Young Turks single-handedly, obviously, right? Or Wolfpack single-handedly. But people came to the logical conclusion that of course you're not gonna chip away at it and like, oh, I got a little bill here and I got a disclosure of their bribes kind of over here. No, we need to fix the root of the problem. So we've actually won on that issue. But the question now is how are you gonna get it passed? And so the only real way to get it passed is to get a convention, is to get the states to call for a convention. Are you in favor of that? Schumer and Pelosi aren't gonna like that. So I'd be surprised if he then went that route, but I would give him all the credit in the world. And so, but don't mistake what I'm saying. Like I said, he is actually, that's overall a great answer, and I haven't heard that answer from other people. So I now got him as the leader in that. Look, to be fair to Elizabeth Warren, she cares deeply about getting money out of politics, and she's proposed great legislation to do it, but we gotta see the amendment, and where is your amendment? So Bernie Sanders, I love you, brother, but where's your amendment? So now you got Buttigieg outflanking you on the single most important issue. Where are you at?
The best part of that answer was when Anna looked over here before the camera was on. Yeah. Anna did like this. It gave me life.
Look, we've been on air for approximately 120 hours. So I didn't watch the Buttigieg town hall live as it happened. So it was the first time I watched that clip. My reaction was genuine. I didn't expect that answer. I really didn't. And the fact that he mentioned a constitutional amendment was a very pleasant surprise. And Aida is correct. As soon as he said those words, I looked at Cenk with my mouth open like, what the hell is happening right now? So yes, his answer in regard to that question is the strongest among the Democratic candidates. And so I would like to see Bernie and Elizabeth Warren and the other candidates overall come out a little stronger on this, because I think rejecting super PAC money doesn't go far enough. That doesn't solve the problem, and we need to change the system completely. I think a constitutional amendment, which is what Wolfpack is fighting for, is a good answer to that.
Yeah, wolf-pac.com/join. Okay, so but I'm gonna go little further here. I think it's a little embarrassing that the rest of the candidates have not proposed a constitutional amendment. So everybody says it's the most important issue. So what are you doing about it? And I'll go further than that. If you got a candidate who's not great on the other issues, but I'm convinced will actually fight like hell to get a constitutional amendment passed and is in favor of the convention because that's the only realistic path right now, I'll support that candidate. Because we cannot fix the other issues. You don't understand politics if you think you're going to convince Republicans. You will never, ever convince national Republican politicians to vote against their checks. It's not going to happen. It is naive, it is foolish, and it means you don't understand politics at all. So we cannot get the changes that we want on the environment, on healthcare, and all those things if you don't get the money out of politics. So if you're not prioritizing it and you're not gonna fight like hell for it, then I have a lot less interest. Whereas if I got a candidate who's mediocre on a lot of the issues, but is going to free all of us by getting rid of money in politics and get an amendment passed, well, you gotta do that first. So I would prioritize that candidate.
Damn.
Come on, members. Start the hashtag and start generating it. What up with that corporate guap?
Ooh.
What up with that? They all need to answer that question. I agree.
Yeah, down with corporate guap.
Yes.
The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.